Foreclosure filings climbed in 3/4 of U.S. metro areas in the first half of the year as unemployment left many homeowners unable to pay their mortgages. That data was compiled by RealtyTrac, and its Senior Vice President, Rick Sharga, joins us now from Irvine, California. Rick, welcome to Bloomberg News. Always good to have you on.
Good to be here.
Rick, these numbers are very disturbing, and you are quoted in our Bloomberg story as saying, as I just mentioned to our economics editor, Michael McKee, foreclosures are spreading out from areas that had been hardest hit. How bad is this?
Well, it's hard to minimize the fact that 3/4 of the major metropolitan areas in the country had year-over-year increases in foreclosure. I guess the one glimmer of hope is that some of the hardest hit areas, places that we've been talking about for years now, like Las Vegas and Stockton and Cape Coral, Florida, have seen modest year-over-year declines. So the hope is that maybe we're beginning to see the peak in at least some of the more severely affected areas.
And Rick, we should mention, because you cannot separate the two, the high unemployment is what's driving this. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and one of the areas that's popped up in our statistics is the area of Chicago, which I think ranks about 37th out of the top 200 metropolitan areas. Chicago also, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, had the largest year-over-year decrease in jobs. So we saw 78,000 foreclosure actions in the first half of the year, and over the last year, 76,000 jobs have gone away. So there's a pretty direct correlation between job loss and foreclosure.
Talk to us about that underlying economic weakness then.
Well, really, until the unemployment rates start to go down, until we actually see net job creation, and importantly, until consumer confidence comes back and people aren't afraid to get in the water again and start buying properties, the housing market really has very slim chances of recovery. That, coupled with the huge overhang of distressed properties that we have on or off the market, waiting to come on the market, really suggests the housing market's not going to turn around for the next few years.
Rick, talk to us about some of the states that are suffering the most.
Well, clearly the states with the highest percentages of foreclosure activity are places like California and Arizona, Florida, and Nevada. In fact, all 20 of the top 20 metropolitan areas in terms of foreclosure activity are in those 4 states. But you're also seeing states hit that really haven't been in the radar before, places like Illinois, Utah, Idaho, Arkansas, places, South Carolina. So places that have had some pockets of unemployment that have really led to foreclosure activity.
Rick, any silver linings? Are we seeing anywhere where things seem to be getting a little better?
Well, again, there's marginal improvement in some of the areas that have been the hardest hit. Las Vegas numbers, for example, were a little bit down year-over-year. But you're still looking at 1 out of every 15 households in Las Vegas being in foreclosure. I guess the other glimmer of hope, the other silver lining, if you will, is that as these properties come to market, you're still finding a ready cadre of buyers willing to gobble them up at, significant discounts. But we need that buying activity in order to get the inventory levels down so that the market can start to recover.
Rick, anything in your metrics that might show you that things are starting to bottom? Or can you even look? Is it fair for me to ask you, can you look at least a few months ahead, maybe towards December, and see things starting to make a turn for the better?
Now, we think it's actually, unfortunately, likely that we won't really even peak on an annual basis until 2011.
Really?
In terms of overall foreclosure activity. Keep in mind, there's about 5 million seriously delinquent loans that have yet to enter the foreclosure process. The bulk of those will probably enter next year. We saw 475,000 initial jobless claims just announced this morning. A lot of those folks are going to wind up, unfortunately, in danger of losing their homes and certainly being in the foreclosure process. So the combination of just that pipeline of distressed and delinquent loans, plus the ongoing weakness in the economy and the job front, does not bode well for a quick recovery.
All right, Rick Sharga of RealtyTrac joining us from Irvine, California. Rick, always good to have you on. Thanks so much.
Thank you.